Sound, deep rumble, faint crack of earth splitting beneath our feet. Immense pressure builds for decades, sometimes for centuries. The earth seems still, yet magma is always rising, restless and unstoppable. One day the crust fractures, and a mountain explodes with violence greater than any weapon humanity has ever created. Visual: mountain erupting, lava fountains against black sky. A volcano is not just a mountain. It is the living heart of the earth, revealed in fire. From its mouth pour rivers of lava, columns of ash, and phenomena so strange, so destructive, that even with all our science, we are only beginning to understand them. Sound: crackling electricity, thunder mixed with roaring fire. One of the most spectacular sights is volcanic lightning. Inside vast ash clouds, particles collide, building charge until the eruption becomes more than an explosion of rocket, becomes a thunderstorm. Lightning tears through the sky, hotter than the sun's surface, brighter than 1,000 torches. In 1883, Krakatoa exploded with such fury that the skies glowed with lightning for hours, terrifying witnesses across Asia and Australia. In 1991, the eruption of Mount Pinatubo created a towering ash column more than 40 kilometers high, split apart by bolts of white light, a cathedral of fire and storm captured in rare photographs. And in 2022, the eruption of Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha-Apai was so massive that satellites recorded tens of thousands of lightning strikes within minutes. The sky itself became a living battlefield. Scientists offer explanations: friction, plasma, the collision of ash and ice crystals, but the complete answer still eludes us. Sound: heavy winds carrying fine ash, but lightning is only the beginning. As ash spreads, daylight disappears, noon becomes night, and entire regions are buried under blankets of fine dust. Ash clogs rivers, poisons farmland, and weighs down rooftops until they collapse. The true terror, however, is the pyroclastic flow, an avalanche of ash, gas, and fire that races down mountain slopes faster than a racing car, hotter than 1,000 degrees Celsius. It devours forests, obliterates towns, and leaves no chance of escape. Visual: grey avalanche racing down mountainside. The tragedy of Pompeii in 79 AD is a haunting reminder. Vesuvius buried an entire city in a single day, preserving citizens in the exact pose of their final breath. In Ijo-Lingar, Mount Pelée erupted on the island of Martinique, annihilating the city of Saint-Pierre of its 30,000 inhabitants, only to survive one of them, a prisoner whose stone cells shielded him from the inferno. Pyroclastic flows are swifter and deadlier than lava, the scythe of nature cutting through life without warning. Sound: ocean waves crashing, followed by violent steam explosions. When lava meets water, chaos grows. In Iceland, subglacial eruptions melted massive ice sheets, unleashing floods so vast they carved canyons in hours. In Hawaii, molten lava pouring into the Pacific created explosions that hurled fragments of rock like artillery shells back onto land. And in 1883, Krakatoa's colossal eruption did not only darken skies, it triggered tsunamis over 40 meters high. Entire coastlines were swept away, ships carried inland, villages erased. More than 36,000 lives were lost to waves born from fire. Visual: waves crashing against burning coastline. The union of water and lava is never peaceful. It is transformation through violence, a reminder that the earth is constantly reshaping itself. Sound: roaring wind twisting into a vortex. Sometimes eruptions summon whirlwinds of fire. Fire tornadoes, also known as firewhirls, form when searing heat and turbulent winds collide, creating spinning columns of flame that rise hundreds of meters into the sky. Their cores can reach temperatures hotter than molten steel. In 1923, after the Great Kanto earthquake in Japan, massive fire tornadoes swept through neighborhoods, consuming thousands of lives in minutes. When they rise near eruptions, these fiery vortices transform disaster into apocalypse. Sound: eerie, bubbling, muffled rumble underwater. Yet not all volcanic killers announce themselves with fire. In Africa, volcanic lakes hide invisible threats. Lake Nyos in Cameroon appeared calm in 1986. Beneath its surface, carbon dioxide had accumulated silently for years. Without warning, the lake overturned, releasing a suffocating cloud that rolled into villages. More than 1,700 people and countless animals died in their sleep. No eruption, no flame, only silence. Lake Kivu, on the border of Rwanda and the Democratic Republic of Congo, contains even greater reserves of lethal gas, enough to threaten millions. These killer lakes remind us that sometimes the most peaceful landscapes conceal unimaginable danger. Sound, deep, resonant bass fading into silence. And then there are the giant supervolcanoes, eruptions so immense they reshape the world itself. The eruption of Toba in Indonesia 74,000 years ago blanketed the globe in ash. Temperatures dropped for years, crops failed, species vanished, and humanity itself nearly disappeared. Some scientists believe our ancestors were reduced to a small remnant of a few thousand survivors. A single eruption changed the path of our species. In 1815, the eruption of Tambora in Indonesia was the most powerful in recorded history. The blast was heard thousands of kilometers away, and the ash it released dimmed the sun. The following year became known as the year without a summer. Frost struck in June. Crops withered across Europe and North America. Famine spread, and millions starved. Even literature was shaped. Mary Shelley, trapped indoors by the endless storms of that summer, wrote Frankenstein. In 1783, Iceland's Loki eruption released toxic gases that killed a quarter of the island's population and poisoned crops across Europe. The strange fog and climate disruptions contributed to hardship that helped ignite revolution in France. Volcanoes do not simply destroy landscapes, they redirect the course of history. Visual aerials of Yellowstone caldera.com and vast. Today, Yellowstone sleeps beneath fields and forests, but its magma chamber is immense. If it erupted on the scale of Toba or Tambora, ash would blanket continents. Global agriculture would collapse, and our world, so dependent on fragile supply chains, would be shaken to its core. Supervolcanoes remind us that we live on borrowed time, and that the Earth does not measure its life in centuries, but in cycles of cataclysm. Sound, low rumble softening into gentle wind. And yet, volcanoes are not only destroyers, they are creators. The fertile soils of Java and Campania are born from ash. Entire islands like Hawaii rise from the sea through countless eruptions. Minerals essential for human civilization, copper, gold, rare earths are gifts from magma chambers. Even our atmosphere carries the imprint of ancient volcanic gases. Destruction and creation are bound together. From ruin emerges renewal. Sound, soft birdsong, layered over quiet wind. In 2010, the eruption of Eyjafjallajökull in Iceland reminded the modern world of its vulnerability. Though small by historical standards, its ash plume shut down air traffic across Europe for days. Millions of travelers were stranded. Billions of dollars were lost. A single volcano reminded us that our global systems can be humbled overnight. Volcanoes teach humility. They show us that beneath our feet lies a force older and greater than humanity itself. Every eruption is a reminder that the Earth is alive, restless, and beyond our control. They destroy, they create, they shape history, and they shape life. When the next great eruption comes, will we be prepared? Or will we, like Pompeii, be caught unaware, frozen in a final moment of surprise? The Earth breathes fire. It topples cities, alters climates, and forges continents. It kills, but it also gives. In its fury lies both death and renewal. As the smoke clears and calm returns, we are left with awe, with fear, with reverence, and with one haunting question: when will the Earth awaken again?